The score swells with a sense of bold adventure before receding into an atmospheric underscore. Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. In this episode, we're heading to the wild windswept peaks of medieval Scotland to explore a movie that redefined the standard for both Disney and Pixar. Knock your arrows. It's time to dive headfirst into everything that makes Brave a standout. Released in 2012, Brave was a huge milestone for Pixar. It was their first fairy tale, their first period piece, and most importantly, their very first film with a female protagonist. And she is truly an exceptional lead. Princess Merida completely defies the damsel in distress trope, rejecting the idea of waiting around for a prince to save her. She's a fiery, independent archer with a wild spirit that matches her untamable red hair. The story kicks off with a classic conflict. As the guardian of tradition, the refined Queen Elinor insists that Merida uphold her royal duties by entering an arranged marriage with a suitor from the neighboring clans. It's a political arrangement meant to keep the peace, but Merida refuses to play along. Driven by a desire for autonomy, she is determined to shape her own future rather than serve as a mere trophy in a competition. This clash between mother and daughter, tradition and freedom, is the heart of the film. We can all relate to that total breakdown in communication, that feeling that your parents are speaking a different language, and they're convinced you're just tuning them out. Brave does an incredible job of mirroring these relatable family struggles with total accuracy. Driven by a surge of sheer exasperation, Merida takes a stand at the tournament, announcing that she intends to compete for her own hand in marriage. And she carries it off with incredible flair. The moment she perfectly cleaves her competitor's arrow in two has become a truly legendary piece of cinema. It's a powerful statement. I am not a prize. I am the hero of my own story. However, her defiance triggers a chain reaction. Following a blistering confrontation with the Queen, Merida escapes into the deep woods, where she happens upon the dwelling of an enigmatic woodcarver with a hidden identity. Blinded by the need for change, she pleads for a way to reshape her path, unknowingly inviting a disaster that she never saw coming. The spell comes in the form of an enchanted cake, and let's just say, it doesn't quite have the effect Merida was hoping for. Rather than altering her mother's perspective, the magic takes a literal and unintended turn
into a massive black bear. This is where the story takes a sharp turn from a family drama into a high-stakes adventure. Merida now has to reverse the curse before her mother becomes a bear forever. It's a race against time, and it forces Merida and Elinor in her bear form to truly see each other for the first time. One of the most beautiful parts of the movie is watching their relationship evolve. Without words, they have to learn to communicate, to trust each other, and to work together. They go from being at odds to being a team, facing down dangers like the demonic bear Mordu, a prince from an ancient legend who suffered a similar fate due to his own pride. The story of Mordu is a brilliant parallel to Merida's own journey. It serves as a cautionary tale about what happens when pride and selfishness consume you, severing family bonds.
The weight of the situation hits her as she realizes that her refusal to compromise and her own prideful heart are what actually landed them in this nightmare. She comes to the realization that the blame doesn't lie solely with her mother. She is equally responsible for the rift between them. This realization is a huge moment of growth for Merida. She understands that true bravery isn't just about being a great archer or defying tradition. True strength lies in the humility to acknowledge your mistakes, the courage to offer a sincere apology.
And let's talk about the animation. My gosh, the visuals in Brave are absolutely breathtaking. Pixar's team spent years researching the Scottish landscape, and it shows. The misty forests, the towering castles, the lush greenery, it all feels so real and alive. And Merida's hair, it's practically a character in itself. Over 1,000 individual curly strands, bouncing and flowing with every movement. It's a technical masterpiece and a perfect visual metaphor for her wild, free spirit. The music composed by Patrick Doyle is another standout element.
The soundtrack masterfully weaves authentic Scottish instrumentation into a grand orchestral arrangement, mirroring both the film's vast, cinematic landscape.
It makes you feel like you're right there in the Highlands with Merida.
Of course, Brave wasn't met with universal acclaim upon its release. It actually faced its fair share of pushback from critics and audiences alike. Some people felt the story was a bit simple.
They were expecting a more complex plot, but I think that misses the point.
The true power of Brave is found in its streamlined narrative.
It's not trying to be a grand, sprawling epic. It's an intimate, personal story about a mother and a daughter. And it's a story that redefines what it means to be a Disney princess. Merida doesn't need a prince to save her. In fact, the whole point is that she doesn't want one.
She becomes the hero of her own family by rescuing her mother and actively repairing the most significant bond in her life. She finds a balance between her duty to her kingdom and her desire for personal freedom.
In the end, Merida doesn't have to get married.
She and her mother work together to convince the clans to change the tradition, allowing the young lords and ladies to marry for love in their own time. It's a profound message about communication and compromise. Change is possible, but it has to come from a place of understanding, not just rebellion.
The final scene, where Merida and her now human mother ride their horses together, laughing and enjoying their newfound bond, is just so heartwarming. They've both changed. Elinor has learned to see her daughter as a capable young woman, and Merida has learned to appreciate her mother's wisdom and love. They mended the bond, both literally and figuratively. Brave is a story about finding the courage to be yourself, but also the courage to listen, to understand, and to heal the relationships that matter. It shows us that true strength isn't about never making mistakes. It's about having the humility to fix them. It's a powerful, beautiful film that dared to be different, and for that, it will always hold a special place in the Pixar library. What do you guys think of Brave? Is Merida your favorite princess? What's your favorite scene? Let me know down in the comments below. I love reading your thoughts and getting the conversation started. Thanks so much for watching today. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of Brave, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more content just like this. We'll see you in the next video. Bye.